motivation for creating the Digital Story Project comes from our common goal of wanting to be elementary education teachers. We interviewed Mrs. Nethercutt, who is a 4th grade teacher at Pratt Community School, to get a sense of what it's like to be a successful teacher.
According to AskPrima.com, some good teaching strategies are that I have to be good at explaining things, staying calm under pressure, understanding the content, being a good leader, having time management skills, and hard work. What drew you to the field of teaching?
Oh boy, I was a late comer in teaching. My major was anthropology, and then I was a nurse for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And then I went into teaching. My mom was a 1st grade teacher, and I just never considered it when I was younger. But the older I got, the more I realized it's what I wanted to do.
Really?
So, yeah.
So did you go back to school then?
I did.
Get your teaching? Oh, wow. So why'd you pick 4th grade then?
When I first started, that was an opening that they had.
Oh, okay.
But I've done it for 4th and 5th grade for 25 years now, and I think the thing I like most is that they are at an age where you can do so much with them, and you can have great discussions, and they can do so much, but they're still little kids, and so they get excited about things, and they think I'm funny, and they're curious, and they're enthusiastic, and I think it's a perfect age.
Oh, I like that. What in your mind does it take to be a successful teacher?
A lot of hard work.
Really?
A lot of hard work. Yeah. A lot of people say, well, you have to like to work with kids, and obviously you do. You have to love to work with kids. But I can't think of a job or a career that would take more commitment than teaching does. Because it's a very serious thing. There just isn't any time to waste with these kids. We have to make good use of every minute and just get them as far as they can go. To be a good teacher, you have to be willing to work. You have to be creative. You have to be flexible. You have to have a mindset that there's always more to learn, and you can get better and better and better and better at it. Nobody ever arrives at being a successful teacher. I don't think you constantly try to get better at it, and so you have to love that challenge. But the most important thing about being a teacher is having a relationship with every child, and my relationship with every child in here is different. They're all different personalities, but they have to know that I like them and I care about them, and that I think they're smart. Before they can learn from me. So you have to, so a successful teacher has to have that relationship with every child, because if you don't, if there's not that connection, they won't learn.
What's one of the most rewarding things being a teacher?
When you know that kids are really learning, and when you can see the growth. That there's nothing more, there is nothing that I can imagine that would be more satisfying than that. It just totally pays off. And that happens a lot, or when you see them interacting with each other. When I can stand back there and they can keep a math class going just with discussion on a problem they're working on. I mean, that's hugely satisfying, because that's what I've been trying to teach them to do. So
that's really important.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't taught that much of that in elementary, middle school, and it's very important.
Well, they learn a lot from each other. They learn a lot from each other, and sometimes if somebody isn't understanding something I'm saying, there can be another student up there going through something, and it starts to click. So it's real important that I do that a lot, but you have to train a class to do that. It doesn't just happen, and it takes quite a while to get them to interact that way. But that's, those are the things that are just very, very satisfying. So there's a lot of reward in teaching. There's a lot of hard work, but I can't imagine another job that you get this much reward from. So, but you have to be able, to see those times, to reward yourself, because someone else isn't going to do it. It's intrinsic. You have to, there's times I'm in here with this class and I see these things and I think, oh wow, they've got it. Nobody else is in here saying, good job, you did this, look what they're doing. So as a teacher, that has to be enough for you. You have to be able to see the growth and see what the kids can do, and that's what keeps you going.
What's the main focus of the school? Because I know it's like incorporating some of the richer people, like how they have more money and stuff, and then some people who don't have homes.
Well, one good thing about Pratt is that we have a real balance. We have one of his father's a doctor. We've got college professors. We've got families in homeless shelters living on welfare. So we have it's a spectrum, and it's a balance, racially and culturally and economically, and I think that is really important for kids to see that, because they're going to be living together and working together, as adults, and they need to see that people are different, but we can all work together and we can learn about each other. So that's a huge focus of the school, is just multicultural understanding and education.
Do you ever find it difficult in the classroom, having such an array of different aspects?
It's all I've ever known as a teacher. And my first 13 years were at Anderson, and we were then a multicultural laboratory school, so I learned a lot of strategies then, in that area. But that's one of the things I love the most about teaching, is the diversity. So I would really miss that if I landed in another environment.
By doing this project, we learned what it takes to be a successful teacher. We need to have an open mind. We learned that we will need to work hard and have a desire to work with children. We need to have a commitment to teaching kids, because we can't afford to waste any of their time, since everything is so fast-paced at this young age. We also learned the importance of establishing a relationship with children. We are learning that we have these qualities and should work on them to make them stronger. We also learned about how a lot of hard work and dedication goes into teaching. We learned that teachers are creative and flexible and have to be prepared to take on difficult challenges. We ended our digital story project learning about the community and how the funding for gifted and talented programs isn't there anymore. It shows how big of a role the community plays in education, and how without the support and money from it, it creates some challenges for teachers and students.
Going back to the corner where I first saw you. Gonna camp in my sleeping bag, I'm not gonna move. Got some words on cardboard, got your picture in my hand, saying, if you see this girl, can you tell her where I am?